Sullivan. I'm a former IRS agent and teaching instructor. Welcome to my YouTube station. It's the home of the 5-minute or less video. I can tell you everything you need to know in 5 minutes. I don't need a fancy suit and all the books and really looking stoic. My office is across the street where I keep my suits as well. You can look at all my videos. I've been on the national news a lot. I'm a contributor for many stations, and I have a whole team of former IRS agents. Many of you have come to me because you've seen me on television, and you can check all my videos out at 777irs.com. I do these videos for 3 reasons. There's a lot of garbage on the YouTube about IRS stuff. There's a lot of salesmen reading scripts and fancy coats and ties who are full of crap. And anyway, at the end of the day, I educate you and I give you insider tips from the Internal Revenue Service. So today I'm giving you my top tips about the Offer and Compromise program. I am an Offer and Compromise expert. I worked at IRS. I was a teaching instructor for the Offer. Myself and Peter Salinger have probably worked more offers than any 2 people in the United States. So I try to give you as many tips as I can. Some of them are small and simple, but they're all really, really important. If you don't owe a lot of money to the IRS and you want to do the offer yourself, go ahead and do it. If you owe a lot of money to the IRS and you're trying to get an offer through by yourself, you're crazy. You're not going to get it through. It requires a great deal of expertise to get these offers through. IRS, I think, accepted 16,000 offers in compromise last year. Many of them are really by truly professional people. By the way, unless you're an attorney, a CPA, or enrolled agent, you cannot submit and represent a person in an offer and compromise. What you're finding, and when you're starting to call these companies, you're contacting a lot of sales heads. What that means are trying to rip you off by charging you a lot of money, who don't know what the hell they're talking about because they've never filed an offer and compromise and they're not licensed to do that. Companies call these front people or closing people, try to get in your pocket to go ahead and find out what they can get from you because they ask you enough questions about your current financial statement that they can determine how much they can extract from your pocketbook. So anyway, with that, let me give you a couple tips about the offer and compromise you need to know. If you owe a lot of money and you want your offer through, you're going to want to use us. By the way, we don't take all offers. If you call us and we take your financial statement, we only take people who we can add value to their case. So just because you call us, that doesn't mean we're going to take your case. We have to look at your current financial statement that IRS is going to use before we make a determination. Some of these things are simple, but you still have to know these tips. A, make sure every block on your financial statement is filled out. IRS will reject your offer and compromise if your 433A OIC is not complete. Believe it or not, some people do not sign their financial statement, their 433 OIC or their 656. They send it in and they don't know to sign the forms. So once again, make sure every block is filled on your financial statement and make sure you sign the documents. Number 3, a big tax tip, make sure you put a cover letter on your offer. Big, 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 big. As a former agent, I'd look at one after the other. They all rolled into one. I'd come back from break. Which one is this? You want to write a cover letter to separate yourself from the offers and compromise. You don't want it any more than 2 pages. You don't want a crying violin, but you want to let them know why you can't pay the tax. The cover letters are invaluable. Number 4, you want to make sure you have the current market value, low values, not high values, but the lowest value you can on your financial statement so you're not giving IRS too much. If you're putting equity in a home, make sure it's the lowest equity in the home, not the highest, not the average. Don't be the high kid on the block, but you can be the low kid on the block. It's really important. Number 5, make sure you understand the National Standards Program. Make sure you understand that you know exactly what IRS is going to allow for food and clothing, housing and utilities, car expense, and for operation of car. You must know that, or you don't have a hell's chance to get your offer and compromise through. You should also know your offer and compromise is going to take at least a year to work. You also should know IRS may ask for a new financial statement when they're working your case somewhere about a year from now, when your offer is finally worked at Internal Revenue Service. You also want to make sure that your bank recs and if you have a business all add up on page 6 of your Business 433B to make sure everything makes sense. Then offer and compromise is a gut feeling by IRS after reviewing your personal and maybe your business financial statement that you cannot pay the debt, and the only way you're going to pay the debt is by borrowing money from a third party to pay IRS off. So remember, the offer and compromise is something that IRS spends about 10 to 15 hours on, maybe 20, doing their due diligence. If you're going to submit your offer and compromise, it's really big. The biggest thing I can tell you is know what the IRS national standards are. If you know that, you got a 50% of chance of getting your offer through. If you don't owe a lot of money, do the offer and compromise yourself. Also, remember, IRS is going to take your refund. You may want to change your W-4 to make sure you don't have a refund so you can keep your money. If you need your offer and compromise to go through and you owe a lot of money, there's only a couple people you want to call. We are one of them. Thank you very much for listening. Please give me your subscription. I would appreciate it. YouTube loves us to have subscriptions. Boom, I would appreciate it. Thank you very much.